Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News, and 100 Thieves have finally confirmed the acquisition of Boostio over from Evil Geniuses. The EG organisation have completely blown it up. Barely any of their original members from last season's World Championship winning team remain. Lots of reaction though, understandably, to the 100 Thieves Boostio acquisition. FNS talking about the theoretical top 3 in next year's Americas, and says they'll be shocked but also pleasantly surprised if 100T can take down any of those teams. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. This I thought was pretty phenomenal here from Willminder as well. You see Potter, you see Jorgamo, they're still there, but everybody else is gone. I mean, like coaches, everyone. Also Zix, right? We've got to mention the fact that Zix and Boostio both now going to 100T. That definitely gives them a lot of, I would say, strength in depth from a strategic, analytical perspective. So we'll see if that works out for those guys. So kind of feel bad for Potter and Jorgamo really, but it's kind of remarkable how, you know, EG have gone from winning the World Championship to probably being more like hated and despised as an organization than they ever were, despite the fact that they won champs just a few months ago, which is kind of incredible. But yeah, wishing the best for all involved. Now, yesterday it was confirmed by Ludwig that the greatest Valorant event is back, the Ludwig Tarik Invitational number 2, January 13th, January the 14th. Now, these are the teams going, right? So this is pretty interesting. As I said, I was expecting Moist Chubify to be there, which is absolutely true. As we see Moist Chubify, we see 100 Thieves are going to play as well. So 100T, they of course, they've just formed their roster, so this is their first proper tournament with their team. They played the Red Bull Homegrounds, right, with Nature, but, you know, they wanted Boostio all along. Then Cloud9, of course, are coming along as well. The final team, though, is going to be Oxygen Esports, so no Sentinels here, which is pretty interesting, actually really rather interesting, because it would have been expected. Ludwig, Tarik Invitational, Sentinels, they played in the last one. Ludwig's team has got the Moist thing going on. Tarik's, of course, with Sentinels, so, like, I'm sure it was requested that Sentinels play in this, but that's not how it has turned out. And actually, Zelsis went on stream to kind of explain this and says that as far as Sentinels are concerned, they've done all of the off-season tournaments they intended to do. Their intention this off-season was very clear: do a few off-season tournaments, you know, get the hang of things, get to grips with the new team, but also you don't want to play too many tournaments, right? They played the Africa TV one. That was, you know, kind of going out on a bang for the end of last season. Do they need to play this one, the Ludwig Tarik one? Sure, they'd be expected to play in it, given the relationship and what happened last year, but as far as they're concerned, as far as Zelsis is concerned, they've done everything they need to do. And honestly, the more you play, especially this time of year, the more that other teams look at what you're doing, right? I'm sure that there's been some reviews of Sentinels VOD from the Africa TV tournament, but imagine Sentinels played in this. You know, every team in the world will be very much eagle-eyed on what Sentinels are doing because, you know, they are theoretically a big contender this season. So it makes sense, I would say, why Sentinels aren't going to play in it. But, you know, kind of a shame. Also cool to see Sean Gez and DDK actually casting in this one because definitely missed them for a little while. Even Dabba says back-to-back. So, yeah, his intention is, of course, with Oxygen Esports to go and take the W here. Speaking of Sentinels, though, they have been practicing. They've got their scrims back underway. Zelsis said, I believe that was happening again for the first time yesterday, pretty much. And, okay, just a screenshot. We don't know who they're playing in this one, but we can see Kaplan, we can see Sassy, we can see Tens, but also Zelsis, right? So just to confirm beyond any doubt, if there even was any, that Pancada is not coming back in and Zelsis is staying in the team, as, you know, there's no way it's going to be anything else, but also, where's Pancada going to go? Because we're going to see in a second here that the Com to Lev thing is basically a done deal. So we did theorize for some time that Pancada could be an option there. That's not happened. So yeah, Pancada still stuck on Sentinel's bench with no other better opportunities, it seems, for the time being. Just while we're talking of screenshots, this was floating around yesterday as well. Steel versus Ye and the DSG guys. So we know last season, lots of drama on the DSG team, especially, well, there was a lot of reaction, right? And this is happening a long time ago now. It's a long time in the past, but people do still care about this stuff. So Steel explains what went wrong. People say he's trolling here. I'm not so convinced that he is trolling, personally. Okay, he's sure the way he says this is a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I still think that what he's saying is quite possibly true. But anyway, one player showed up late every day and went AFK in matches, so I had him cut. Now, who could this possibly be? AFK in matches? I'm guessing he kind of means AFK in like scrims and stuff, maybe. But I guess this could either only be Exalt or XSIF who are kicked around about this time. But also, I guess it must be Exalt because I think he was cut before Ye came in, possibly. So then Steel says, then the org brought in Ye, who wanted to cut me and everyone else, basically, so the team died. Steel has been quite clear, actually, that, maybe he's not the massivest fan, really, of the way Ye performed on that roster and the way that he behaved behind the scenes. But that is drama for, several months ago, really, but I thought it was an interesting update nonetheless. Now, let's talk about the roster stuff. We've got this, actually, from the VCT contract length of the NRG players. Demon 1 and Ethan have been signed to 2-year deals for 24 and 25. Marved only technically a 1-year deal, so that's kind of interesting. But let's talk Com, Lev. It's now been basically confirmed within any reasonable doubt that Com is going to Leviathan. He was actually officially removed from the Evil Geniuses database yesterday, and then we saw this from Com that, contract signed. Even text then here in the reply says, congrats, brother. So, yeah, basically, GG. I wonder where he's possibly going, guys. And even this guy, who's pretty funny. Well, firstly, we've got sources saying that he's going to Lev. Verbal agreement reached. Kind of fascinating why. I mean, just because I don't think that people thought the Com was going to be available. He probably was available, but ever since like Demon 1 and Ethan, they were gone. It seemed like Lev decided that they wanted Com as an organization. That seems to be the impression we get, because the players didn't overly seem happy that Nosro is gone. But maybe the organization, the coaching staff, I don't know, they saw Demon 1 and Ethan going to NRG and they thought, well, we can probably get Com, so let's go for it, even if the players don't necessarily want that to be the case. I don't know. So hopefully it works out for all parties. But so now sources are saying it's true. And even we get this from Fernando Diaz, right, who's CEO and founder at Leviathan, who says, welcome, welcome, but, capitalizes the C, so you get the Com in there. So, I don't really think there's any doubt what that means. EG, of course, also confirmed this yesterday that Screwface is gone, Com is gone, and also Boostio is gone. So it's remarkable. Like, this organization is such a clown show. It's actually incredible. But, the fact that they won the World Championship and now basically their entire organization is being dismantled, it's quite fascinating. But officially, Boostio is gone. And I think the belief was, as I say, I heard rumors a while ago that it was like January the 6th or something like that when Boostio's contract was at an end. And maybe it's the same thing with Com. Maybe his contract was just up. So Demon 1 and Ethan were bought out. But maybe Com's contract was up at the same time that Boostio's contract was up. And therefore, they were now able to sign new deals. That might be what's happened here, but Jorgamo, has got to stay on, it seems, for now, and maybe they can form a decent roster. But, yes, the Screwface comments on the matter as well. Probably these guys' contracts ended about now, and therefore they're now able to be signed for free by other organizations, such as 100 Thieves. So it was officially confirmed, finally, that Boostio was in the contract jail. They let him go, and, cool little announcement video here that 100D did, to be fair. So, this is a big deal for 100T. They've looked for an IGL, of course, last season with Stella, and there were some questions about it. They tried Nature briefly while they couldn't get Boostio. That didn't really go to plan, and now Boostio is going to be the man for the job. Of course, in-game leader for last year's Evil Geniuses roster that won the World Championship, got massive credit as a result for good reason, but there was some talk from the likes of Ethan and also from FNS that mentioned that it's not just a one-man show. It's not just like Boostio did all the calling, is this absolute big-brain mastermind player, and that's it. Like, you need the rest of your teammates to also be aligned as well and also help you out in these situations. You guys probably also spotted there the VALORANT World Champions t-shirt thing that was spotted in the video, but Maddie, who put together the video, says that I printed this out and ironed it on. I would never spend money on that, which I thought was pretty hilarious. But of course, people want to know, is this team going to be any good? 100T have had so much hype around them, really, for the last few years. Sure, as an organization, they've been maybe in a bit of a decline over the last 12, 24 months or so, and that is certainly true from the perspective of the salaries they're currently able to pay, but nonetheless, they're still a massive organization, huge fan base, and they have achieved great success in VALORANT in the very early days with Steel, we mentioned earlier, but they've not really been able to replicate that for some time. Is this the team that's going to be able to do it? They've kept some players over. Cryo stays, Asuna stays, Bang stays, EU is in, and now Boostio rounds out the team. FNS, though, gives his thoughts and says that, sure, Boostio, good player, but, comparing them to Sen, comparing them to NRG, comparing them to Lev, who are FNS's theoretical top 3, he doesn't really see them coming close.
Oh my god, I'm brain dead. Who do I think will be the most uprising team this season? And are they gonna shock everyone? Who do I think? So it has to be someone who's not expected to do well, but will do well. Okay, so I'm gonna leave Sentinels, NRG, and Lev out of that conversation then. Let's go 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves. Will Asuna surprise you? I mean, sure. If he I don't know. I think if 100 Thieves is able to get into that top 3, that'll be surprising to me. Because that's a hard-ass top 3 to beat. I think for a reason C9 will do good. I can understand that. They played really well last year and no one had any expectations for them. I'll be shocked. If 100 Thieves is capable of beating Lev, Sentinels, or Energy, I'll be very pleasantly surprised. Do you think pros do better with little to no expectations? I think it's easier. When you have very low expectations, it's a lot less pressure.
So it is going to be an uphill battle for these guys, but this is the issue. You've got 11 teams in the Americas and in all the regions around the world. Only 2 teams go to Masters Madrid, and then qualifying for the other international tournaments, 3 teams, and then obviously you get the last chance qualifiers in this. So you've got to be a real top team to make it happen. Does this team have the pieces? Yes, absolutely. But they had the pieces last year, we might have thought. Didn't really work out though. I've been a big fan of Bang for some time, and I thought that last season he was going to really step it up to a new level. Didn't really happen, to be fair. Cryo there, Asuna as well. Asuna, there's arguably a lot of pressure on him because he's been in this organization for a long time, and probably if this roster fails, Asuna might be the next to go because, what else do you do at that point? I do believe, though, that with Boostio coming in, with, of course, EU's now as well, but with Zix as their coach in addition, a couple of those guys that were clearly calling the shots to some extent over on Evil Geniuses last year, they should be able to find something that's going to work. I think they've got the talent. I'm optimistic they can make it work, but I also think that people not exactly overstate what Boostio did for EG because he was obviously very impressive, but there's been lots of talk, at least in the last couple of weeks, that it wasn't just Boostio, like absolute big brain, winning everything for EG. Ethan and the other guys are very vocal and, ambitious as well in terms of what they were trying to bring to the party. So Boostio needs that from his team as well. He can't just be the one sitting there trying to do everything while everyone else just gets kills. And I'm inclined to agree with FNS that realistically, you look at Sen, you look at NRG, you look at Lev. I mean, to be fair, you look at Lev and you think, well, is the organization kind of falling apart right now? And is the team falling apart? So there's opportunities, I think, on that one where Lev might be in a tough spot. But then you've got to consider Cloud9. They're not going to be bad at all as far as we've known so far. Loud, we saw Tarik say yesterday that Americans seem to, or North Americans seem to be underestimating that Loud roster. So there's lots of great teams in that region. 100T could be one of them, but I think that I've got a few questions about this roster, to be fair, at the moment, as does seemingly FNS as well. So very much interested in your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.